What the fuck is up, everybody? Hey, how's it going? So, the big thing right now is this. You got to understand in life changes, in life in general, in understanding your own situation in life, you have to make rapid changes. Now, a lot of people out there kind of subscribe to the mindset of like massive action, taking massive action, which I agree with to a certain extent. I think a lot of people are obsessed with the idea of taking massive action, and what that ends up doing in life is this. This is what I noticed. So let's take Kanye, for example, right? Kanye lived this kind of hedonistic lifestyle, this Hollywood style of life, right? The rapper game and all this stuff. And now all of a sudden he swings to the far extreme of being a Christian and being all this other stuff and identifying with that way. That's the mark of a child in a way, right? When you're younger, when you're more youthful, your mindset will swing from one extreme to the next, mainly because most people don't have control over their emotions. Most people don't have control over themselves, and they're learning their left and right lateral limits. It's okay. But as you start getting a little bit older, as you start maturing, the name of the game is mastery. And with mastery comes just making small changes in your life. Tony Robbins, again, talks about making 2mm shifts. And I'm not going to make this whole thing about Tony Robbins. I've just picked up some cool little cues from him because the majority of what I've learned has been just based off of my own life experiences. And I've had a few experiences happen in life recently where it's just codifying this kind of belief system into my own mind. And it's something I want to share with you all today. Now, this is the first type of video that I'm really shooting like this style. So I do want to give you guys a little preface to what's going on here. Why I'm shooting a video based off of this mindset and this ideology. Now, the thing that you have to understand is I grew up in a very abusive household, very toxic parents, very narrow-minded ideologies, very scarcity mindset based and focused. And this isn't just my parents, this is my entire family, right? My entire generational past. And I had to escape that. And I escaped all of that by joining the military right after we invaded Iraq. So I joined the United States Marine Corps at 18 years old, didn't go to boot camp until I turned 19. Ended up going to Iraq, going to Afghanistan, spent 9 years total in the military. Fought overseas, fought in Afghanistan, had some pretty wild shit happen. Had something even worse happen when I came back. I was literally thrown underneath the table by my command over a Valor Award that they were going to give me, and they ended up just completely screwing me over. Got a really bad taste in my mouth, said I'm not going to go overseas again and just sacrifice myself. Beside that, I was just absolutely tired. I was worn down from 9 years of military service, running around, going to schools, doing all sorts of different types of training. And I was just like, you know what? I want to taste the freedom. I had saved up about $250,000 in my time frame while serving. I was like, fuck it. I got the money. I was absolutely in love with CrossFit at the time. I was actually a pretty big up-and-comer as a competitor here. I wasn't the greatest, but I was a pretty good up-and-comer. I was like, you know what? I'm 27 years old. I might as well take a stab at this. I might as well go and open up my own CrossFit gym. I was really in love with coaching and teaching people at the time. Opened up my own CrossFit gym, and the crazy thing was before I got out, I was actually diagnosed with PTSD. I was having a lot of issues with anxiety and depression. CrossFit kind of helped snap me out of that, on top of the medications that they had put me on, so I was stable. Opened up my gym, started running my business, and literally about 2.5 years of running my business, 80, 90 hours a week, not seeing the money flow in, all that other stuff. Watching relationships crumble, watching people take advantage of me because I had no frame, I had no value, and I allowed it, right? Ended up collapsing, and I lost everything. I lost my entire business. I lost all my friends. I had cars repossessed, and I ended up homeless. And during that time frame, I was at my lowest of lows when it came to depression. Now, a couple months before that, I'd gone down to the Peruvian Amazon and I had worked with indigenous shamans and drank ayahuasca, and my eyes were open to certain things, right? And I thought I was healed. Little did I know that was the beginning of the journey. The destruction was necessary in order for me to learn and create my own value. And the thing that I had to learn was, and this is something I highlight in my book, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days, is that my value, I had to learn my own value. Nobody else, nothing else external to myself could tell me this. I had to make the choice, right? And I remember one day, I was actually living in a bus in the fucking desert pretty much. It was awful. It was 109 degrees out by fucking 7:30 in the morning. And I was already having sleepless nights. And I just remember one night I was sitting there like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I need to fucking kill myself. Like, there's no way I'm going to get myself out of this. I'm like $50,000 in debt. I've lost everything. I've lost my friends. I've lost my identity. I've lost all social respect. I'm like, and I'm going through like this spiritual and emotional and mental battle of anxiety and depression. And man, I'll tell you what, I started making rapid changes at that moment. Now, the story, I could go into this story a little bit more, but you know, I almost committed suicide one night. I was sitting there. I had an old pistol that was set up there, and I was like, dude, I'm just going to fucking pull the trigger. And I just had an epiphany in that moment. I sat there looking at my dog, and I was like, man, I really don't want my dog to lick up my brains. And then I had a fucking epiphany where I was just like, is this really how I want the story to end? Do I want it to end this way, right? Do I want it to end with my value being dictated to me by everyone else around me, right? By all the people in my upbringing, by all the people in the military, by all the people that ran all over me in my relationships and with my business. And I was like, fuck no, dude. Like, I want to make a change right now. Like, starting tomorrow, I am the hero of my own story. I am going to be my own fucking savior. I am going to be the hero of the video game, whatever you guys want to call it. And I made that choice to live. And that was choice number one, right? That was making that rapid change in that moment of like, fuck it, let's go. This is going to suck ass of having to rebuild from zero. Literally, this was rock fucking bottom, guys. Like, I was in the darkness, about to be just gobbled up by death. And I was just like, all right, here we go. I'm at zero and we could build up. Let's go. Let's do it. So it wasn't an easy road. It took me about 3 years of making rapid changes in my life. And what I mean by rapid changes, aside from massive action, is this. What you need to do is you need to just listen to what's going on in your life. And you need to sit there and you need to say, is this incongruent or is this congruent? Is this operating in a state of flow? Is this giving me good responses, right? Because if it's not giving you good responses, that is you internally, intrinsically understanding that what I'm doing right now is not working for me, right? So I'm going to be honest with you guys about a lot of stuff. Let's talk about a little bit in my life. So I'll tell you a little bit, just not to make this super fucking long, but you know, when it first started off with all this crap, you know, I had to figure out what I needed to do. I realized quickly I didn't want to live in a desert on the bus. I needed more social connection. I didn't like the lifestyle. It was not fucking comfortable, right? We're always looking for comfort, but for me, I like to have a balance of comfort and discomfort. There needs to be discomfort for growth, but you don't have to be getting your ass kicked 100% of the time, all the time, for that to be like your value. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people will sit in something that fucking absolutely sucks and they'll be uncomfortable, but they'll be comfortable because they already know the level of discomfort. I see so many people that are in marriages and relationships that they are definitely not in love and the relationship is shit. It's toxic, like what I talked about with my parents. But they'll sit in it for years or until they fucking die. And it's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, I'm watching these people get fat, lose all their fucking money, right? Give all of their energy over to other people, be treated like doormats by everyone around them, right? Like almost zero happiness. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not taking action in your life, making rapid changes to approach this thing called happiness? And the biggest thing in those cases is that people have been brainwashed into believing that they don't deserve it, right? And then it's not just that, because I hate blaming the external always. There's something within them that they tell themselves that they don't deserve it. And then they talk themselves out of it by saying, oh, it's going to be too hard. It's going to be too uncomfortable. It's going to be X. It's going to be Y. It's going to be Z, right? They make the excuses before they even take the fucking step to go forward. For me, what I ended up doing was when I was at my lowest, I was completely against taking. I got off those medications. That's why I went to fucking Peru and worked with ayahuasca. I ended up working with a whole bunch of other plant medicines as well in order to completely heal all of my traumas and do it a holistic, natural route. That was choice number one. Massive, rapid change in that moment. My story is this, right? If I could summarize it, I am a combat veteran who had gnarly PTSD, almost committed suicide, almost became the statistic, and figured out a way to heal it. And in doing so, the crazy thing about this is that along the way, I've been able to learn a lot of universal truths and a lot of wisdom from the universe. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm the most wise creature in the world, but I learned a lot through utilizing a lot of these plant medicines and learning from these ancient wisdom traditions. And this is what some of the stuff that I'm trying to tell you about is going through and doing those things and making those rapid changes in my life. Like for instance, I realized, man, I need to get uncomfortable in a controlled manner in order for me to heal, in order for me to overcome, in order for me to grow. So what do I need to do? What can I do in order for me to heal, in order for me to feel better? Well, I had to sit there and I had to have a conversation. Well, what's bothering you? What's stopping you? Well, shit, my body is stuck. I'm rigid. I don't feel good. I don't want to move because my body feels stuck. All right, well, what can I do in order for me to get through this? And quickly I adopted a regimen of investing my own money when I had almost little, of one massage a month, one chiropractic or two chiropractic adjustments, one every other week, and then going and getting acupuncture once a week. So all holistic remedies in order for me to get my body back on track, hitting it from the neurological, hitting it from the spinal, and hitting it from the muscular. Knowing, shit, I need to do this, right? I need to do this in order so that I can start working out. Because if I can't function right in the gym, I don't want to be there. And if I'm not getting in the gym, I am not taking care of my vessel. And if I'm not taking care of my vessel, then what's my life going to look like? What's my overall happiness going to look like? Well, first and foremost, I'm not going to be disciplined. If I'm not disciplined, I feel like a loser, right? Being disciplined creates a win for you. For instance, waking up this morning at 6:30, my alarm goes off. The second my alarm goes off, I'm up. Next thing I'm doing is I'm going to the bathroom. And then the next thing I do right after that is I go and I make my bed. And actually before that, I open my blinds. I open my blinds to let natural sunlight in. Victories. All of those are victories. I've chosen to take all those things in because I know that they're good for me. Now, for most people won't even choose to go and do that. What's the number one? What are some of the things that people are going to make excuses about when I talk about doing acupuncture or chiropractic or massage? Oh, my life's so busy, I can't even make time for that appointment. I can't afford it. I don't like needles. I don't like being touched. It's like, you know what? All you're telling me right now is I fucking quit. I am not ready. I'm not willing to make the choice in order for me to get better. I'm not willing to invest in myself. I'm not willing to make rapid adjustments and say yes to opportunities and go and do things I know that will be beneficial to me because they're stuck and they're trapped in this mindset of doing those things, of doing things that aren't good for them. They would much rather go to happy hour after work and bitch and moan and complain and fucking stuff their bodies full of awful pollutants that are going to just make them feel worse than actually go and do something that's good for them. My channel, my mindset, everything that I do is not for victims. I I love champions. I'm a fucking champion. I'm a champion of my circumstances, right? I could sit here till I'm fucking blue in the face and list 500,000 reasons why my life sucks in the moment. And that's where I'm actually going to go here in a minute, right? Because my life isn't perfect. You see this house that I live in right now, my lease is up at the end of the month. I don't have a roommate here living with me. I could barely afford this place on my own, and I don't know where I'm going to fucking go, right? I could sit here and I could be like, oh, woe is fucking me, right? I might be homeless again, right? All this other shit. But instead, what do I do? And this is going to sound counterintuitive, but every single time I start facing these things in life where I like my life isn't congruent with the direction I need to go, I make a choice to invest in myself. I make a rapid change. What can I do? Right? The last month, I went to jiu-jitsu 2 weeks ago. That's the last time I went to jiu-jitsu. Even before that, I took 2 weeks off. Because every single time I go to jiu-jitsu, my body has been feeling just fucking terrible. Every time I leave jiu-jitsu, I feel awful. And that's not how I used to feel. And I was like, there's something wrong. There's something mechanically wrong here. There's something neurologically wrong here. I need to make an adjustment. So I started going to the gym and stretching more. And even then, I was still in pain. And I was still like, fuck, this sucks because I have to, right? Rule number one for my philosophy in life, the 6 pillars, you always take care of the physical first, right? The physical is the foundation for you to build upon everything else. So that's why fitness is huge for me. It gets my mind right. It gets my body right. Everything starts to flow. And I was like, fuck, I can't flow right now because everything's stuck. What's going on? I was like, shit, I'm stressed out about money, right? Because 2 months ago, I quit my job where I was making a good amount of money. I had about 20K in savings. I was like, you know what? I can invest in doing YouTube full time and writing and public speaking and all this other stuff. Now, the writing's coming along great. YouTube's coming along a little bit slowly. And the public speaking is not really happening, right? And listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys about all this stuff. So I'm sitting here and my body is fucking tense because it's like, shit, I'm having to tap into the savings now. I'm having to do all this other stuff. I don't know where I'm going to be at the end of this month. And I said, you know what? I could sit here in this apartment all day long and just not go work out. And I could just hammer my book out and all this other stuff and feel happy there and XYZ. And I said, you know what? I know that it's not going to make me happy. And I know that there's something wrong. There's something wrong right now. Another big thing that I've been really figuring out in life is this, right? If my mind is focused on the money and building this YouTube, building all my social media platforms, writing this book, going out and getting public speaking gigs, I got to turn off something in my life, right? I can't have 100% control. And that's why I'm a huge believer in outsourcing now, right? I suck on the internet. I suck at like technical shit, right? So like I'm terrible with video editing. I'm terrible with making the thumbnails. I'm terrible with SEO. I'm terrible with all this stuff. So what do? I outsource it. And I started outsourcing it. And it's made my life a lot more congruent and I've achieved more flow. I said, I wonder if I could do that for fitness. I was like, I need to find someone who's going to sit there and they're going to watch me and hold me accountable and be able to sit there and say, hey, dude, you're not activating this muscle right here and you're not doing XYZ. And oh, by the way, I'm going to help you out with nutrition and all that other stuff and keep you on point. So here I am stressing out about my fitness. I'm stressing out about money. And I'm realizing, dude, I need to make a rapid adjustment right now. So what did I go do? Now, I am a personal trainer. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to train up 2 CrossFit regional teams here in Southern California, do all this other stuff. I know fitness in and out, right? But when it comes to me personally training myself, I have no fucking accountability. I'm going to be honest with you. Most people don't. I could either let my ego control me and say, no, I'm just gonna bust through this. Or I could sit here and I can go and be vulnerable and approach someone and say, hey, listen, I'm weak at the moment with this and I need help. I'm gonna hire you to help me out. And that's the power of coaching, believe it or not. So that's what I went and did. I actually went out, I found a training facility close by. I found someone who had the right physique and the right mindset that I was looking to achieve and attain. And I just fucking emailed that dude right away. And I was like, hey, listen, I'll pay whatever. I will pay whatever for you to train me 3-4 days a week. I need to get back, and I need to be accountable, and I need to have someone here to control this area of my life so that I can instead use my power in the other areas that I'm trying to grow in. I want this to be autopilot. I'm not going to lie. I'll do whatever you tell me to do, but I need this to be autopilot. I need my cognition to go elsewhere. And I hired a personal trainer, and I'm absolutely in love with my decision. I love the training program. I love the training platform. It's exactly where I need to go. I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm starting to feel healthier. I'm starting to feel like everything's in line. I'll soon be back at jiu-jitsu. I'm giving myself a little bit of time to physically rehab myself, which is okay. And this is the thing, is that people are so afraid. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, when it came to not training jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is a huge part of my recovery, right? It's meditative in a way. It gets the aggression out. It really helps me understand life. And not doing jiu-jitsu for the last 2 weeks feels like it's scary because I'm missing out. When I go back the next time, I'm not going to be as sharp as I was 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, right? So I'm thinking about all these fucking downfalls and downturns of not going to jiu-jitsu, and I have this program running that's guilting me hey, you need to go back right now. You're being a little bitch. But the reality is, on the major scale, on the big scale of things, taking this break to make sure that my body is in the right balance and the right alignment and giving that over to someone else and paying the money to do it has been the most freeing thing that I've done in quite some time. And I don't shoot this video right now to guilt any of you guys and make it seem like I'm Mr. fucking perfect. The thing and the difference is I have been on a fucking miraculous journey over the last 4 years of my life, and I've been able to be an observer because during that time frame I've been sitting there and I've been meditating daily, and I've been able to watch and track my life from a higher perspective. And I'm able to sit there and I'm able to move the pieces on the chessboard in accordance with what I know and where I want to go in life. And that's something that not a lot of people are really willing to do the work with, right? So for instance, in my book, which I highly recommend you purchase, by the way, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days, I highlight 6 major areas of people's lives where they're trying to grow in, but most people are struggling in. They're not congruent. They're incongruent with what their goals are and how they're achieving them. So the 6 are the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and relational. They go in order of easiest to hardest. So the physical is the first thing that you can change in order to start really building the foundation for the next to come, right? And it's insane to see how many people are doing this out of whack. I see all these people that are making good money, decent money, working a fucking 9 to 5 at a tech job or in a cubicle, and they're letting their physical their physical body go by the wayside, and they're just giving in to all this stuff. And they've put money as the number one thing, and they've let their health go by the wayside. And it's you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy not being the physical specimen that you know you should be and that you know you want to be. And it just comes down to hormones, honestly. If you're not taking care of yourself physically, you're going to be hormonally imbalanced, and you're going to be an imbalanced person. Your hormones are how you interact with reality. So if you're hormonally imbalanced, it's how you're going to understand and react with your surroundings. So mainly what this all comes down to is this: make rapid action. Take rapid action. Make rapid choices in your life to fix these things. If you're sitting there and you're like, man, I really should quit smoking and I should get back in shape. Quit fucking smoking, right? Take action right then and there. We got this amazing little machine, this little thing that I'm shooting on right now, this iPhone fucking 10. Dude, Google, how can I quit smoking? YouTube, how can I quit smoking? How can I wean off of cigarettes? I'm sure there's thousands of testimonials out there. There's thousands of different ways. Find the thing that's most congruent with you. The next thing, I'm fat. I need to fucking get back in shape. Go and hire a personal trainer. Oh, Corey, I don't have the time. You have the time. You have the money. You have the resources. Oh, I need to go home right after. No, you don't. right after work, your ass should be at fucking LA Fitness or Planet Fitness or whatever the fuck these places are, right? With a personal trainer for 1 hour getting your workout on. Plain and simple. The thing is, you're letting your excuses get in the way because you don't want to get uncomfortable. It's going to be hard. Like right now, it's hard for me with this personal trainer because, man, I used to be this physical fucking specimen of doing all this stuff. But I messed my body up neurologically with a lot of things, right? It's crazy. I've done 3 sessions so far. I'm already seeing marked improvement. You're going to look like a fucking idiot your first show. You're going to look like an idiot your second show. I looked like an idiot today on my 3rd show. But by the end of my training session, things were firing back up again. And I was starting to feel this confidence again of, man, like, I got this. Man, like, sure, it fucking sucks to go on the journey to get to your goals. But goddamn, it also feels fucking tremendous when at the end of the day you could look back and you could say, I crushed it. Like, I'm a hero, right? I made the decision to slay the dragon today. And I fucking slayed the dragon. Anyway, that's about all I got. I hope you guys enjoy this. Please do. Seriously, I fucking hate when people shill at the end of their videos, but it's the world we live in. Guys, I fucking need help. I'm just going to come outright and say it. If you feel it in your heart to throw some money my way, since this is what I'm doing for a living right now, please donate. The links will be below. I got a PayPal and a Patreon. I just highly recommend, throw a few bucks to my PayPal. That would be amazing. Also, this channel will not grow without your help and support. So I do ask, please fucking throw down a like right now. That's free. Share it. Subscribe to my channel and tell your friends about it. All right? That's all I got. Take care, everybody. See you later.